All right, greetings, dear Capricorn. This is for you. It's from Terra Lumination. It is your September 2019 report. Okay, so if you've been here before, you're probably going to recognize the patterns and the routines. If you need to, just fast forward to all the bits and pieces that you like. For new folks, I'm going to do a little bit of a mixture. We'll do the cards in a minute, but I want to share with you some of the Terra Lumination Astrodoodles because they add a lot of nuance and texture to the reports. Now, for you Capricorn, this is kind of a significant month because it's sweet for you. Not everybody's going to have that. All right, let me just show you. We'll come back here in a minute. Let me just do the basics. I'm going to share with you the stuff that I'm sharing with when I do personal readings, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to focus on the yellow highlights. You see over here, this is the new moon Virgo energy. It's coming in right bang at the beginning of the month. It's actually the end of August, but it's so big that it's going to spill into early September anyway. Sun and moon in Virgo, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, all pile up together. That's a lot of Virgo energy. We've got the full moon in Pisces around the 13th and the 14th, and we've got the new moon in Libra at the end of the month, okay? That's when it might get a little uncomfortable for you, but for this part here, this should be pretty sweet. The reason being that the Virgo energy is very harmonious with Capricorn and with the Taurus. It's also out there, so I'll show you. Here we are. Let's say your sun, moon, and rising are watching this. That's you on the horizon, okay? See this big green thing here? That's called a grand Earth trine. It's very harmonious, rich, powerful. Now it's sort of loose, but the way I do astrology, it's like this is ongoing pretty much the whole month because there's this whole area is just saturated with Virgo energy. So it kind of doesn't matter too much about what the exact degrees of Pluto and Saturn or Uranus because it's getting covered like a huge floodlight. Okay, so this is very harmonious for you. The Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn triangle is sweet for you. This part is challenging. It's challenging for everybody. If you've noticed, everyone else has exactly the same doodle, the very same astro doodle, but the aspects are different for everybody. So for you, you've still got Pluto and Saturn here, just grinding through your first house of self and identity. Like you're changing as a person. Your whole sense of identity is changing very slowly and irreversibly year after year after year. We still have several years to go. Uranus is over here in Taurus, your fifth house of business and creativity, fun, happiness, true love and romance, and just spreading your light, okay? Taking risks, getting rewards potentially. Over here, this is where the big new moon is, right at the beginning, Virgo new moon, huge cluster over here, so it's going to really highlight anything to do with expanding your consciousness, expanding your horizons, seeing your whole life from a much bigger, wider, broader perspective, perhaps including travel, foreign people, foreign places, foreign understandings, foreign communications, far and abroad, on a bigger scale than you've ever done before. And that's very good for you, okay? It could be studies as well. It could be advancing your own learning. Maybe you're getting a really strong interest in getting higher and higher qualifications in who you are and what you want to do, or maybe how you want to expand your life in a personal way, okay? The new moon in Libra, well, the full moon, let's go to the full moon. Over here, the full moon comes in the middle of the month, and that's actually very sweet for you too. Full moon in Pisces down here in your third house, communications and business, like day-to-day business interactions. So that will be a kind of a culmination up here about what this means for you, middle of the month, and then towards the end of the month, we'll start all over again with your sense of career, like, aha, now I have a better idea about what I'm doing in terms of recognition and achievement and so on in the world. Meanwhile, we do have this big fat T-square here, which is hovering, okay? It's just hovering loose the whole month. And as sweet as this is kind of messing things up for you. I'm not going to go into too much detail here. You can follow up if you want, but check the links out below. But for now, let's go to the cards. Get something out here on the deck for you. I'm going to use the Tarot Lumination Crucible spread. It's because of the understanding that so many people get the most of their learning and experience at the most profound soul level in the context of human relationship, one-on-one relationship, especially like business contracts, spouses, chosen relationships. This is a little bit different from things like moms and dads and siblings. But in general, I'm lumping a lot of relationships into this reading. And it's all about you. It's not a couple's reading, okay? No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals, but we will have a couple of oracles at the end for dessert, okay? Thank you very much. You'll see what I mean about the crucible in just a moment. Crucible is a bucket, a bowl, high endurance bowl that's designed to withstand intense pressures of alchemical reactions that happen in laboratories, which is just exactly what happens in human relationships. You'll see. So bless this deck, bless every single card, bless you, Capricorn. Thank you for your patience and for being here. I'll show you. What are you radiating, Capricorn? Think of yourself like a smartphone, okay? Including in love, including in everything, okay? What about a significant other or certain significant others? What about deep inside of you, deep inside of the other, and at the core, the relationship dynamics themselves, okay? This is on the understanding that there's you, Capricorn, significant others, and third entities or a third entity, the relationship itself. Now, you can't actually touch it, but it has an energy field, and everybody knows that if they actually, wake up and think about it. Every relationship has an identity. Okay, so if you think of this as a potted plant, well, this is the crucible. What is the nature? Is it strong, sturdy, porous, leaky, wobbly? Is it fractured? Is it strong? Is it well maintained? What is it? Think of it as a potted plant. What's growing here, okay? And this is all surrounded by weather, just like a potted plant, okay? Think of that as the planets, your environment, your jobs, your circumstances, your people, whatever it is that's around you that you consider your immediate environment. So we have the Five of Pentacles here. So if you're sensing, to me it feels very odd to see this card here in this position. What this is telling me is that some of the energy that I've sensed over here, let me just go back. Since this is so sweet for you, okay? And yet we have this. I have a feeling this is picking up on the challenging aspects over here about very deeply hidden factors in your life, in your world, that have been buried for a long time, or that you've neglected because out of necessity. And it's making things very, very awkward. It's almost like no matter how good things are, there's this other thing that is undermining all the sweetness and all the good stuff to the point where you're starting to sense it. It's like going outside and looking at the weather and thinking like, I can tell there's something challenging coming up. It's going to make things difficult for me. Where you might feel the other thing is, let me just do it. Okay, I'll over here, this Pluto and Saturn thing in your first house, that's very challenging for you. Luckily, this sweetens it up and softens a lot of it. And over here, the South Node is here. Over here, the North Node is in Cancer, okay, right over here. So there's a lot of pressure for everybody on the planet to become more Cancerian, basically, by nature. I'm not going to go into a huge rant about the nodes, but anyway, you might be feeling this over here as the Five of Pentacles, like you're starting to notice anything and everything that is not working in your love life and your relationships, especially with your deepest, most cherished loved ones, especially business partner or spouse or live-in partner, a chosen mate, a chosen partner of some kind. And so I think you're sensing it here, and that puts all the sweet stuff at risk. The sweet stuff is still there, okay? But it's at risk because you're going through a chapter or a period here of, let's just say, expansion of consciousness. All that Virgo stuff is really, really opening the consciousness, and you might be seeing a little bit more than you expected, including the challenging things that I pointed out on the orange triangle there. Okay, and remember, also with the Five of Pentacles here, it's alluding to the decisions that we make in life about the people we choose to be close to us and the people who choose you to be close to them. Okay, we're talking about chosen relationships here. Okay, let's have a look. What are you radiating? Obviously, some kind of sense of deep regret, deep loss in some way, shape, or another, no matter how sweet other things might be for you in your broad spectrum of life. So if you're in denial about this, Capricorn, it's really important to, let's just say, I don't know, maybe admit it, or just consider that I mean, look at this. The Five of Pentacles over here, and the Five of Cups over here, it really leaves me concerned. And so I think that there must be something that's really pulling at you on the axis of polarity, the first house, seventh house axis that I mentioned there, the Capricorn Cancer axis, and also with that 12th house energy of Jupiter and Sagittarius might be causing some very, very deep, deep sense of discomfort in certain aspects of your life that are really either deeply hidden or being to the side or pushed to the side because it's really uncomfortable. You might not even have words for it yet, but it's starting to come to the surface to the point where you're actually feeling it in your physical body. The pressure of Pluto in Capricorn, the pressure of Saturn in Capricorn, it's unrelenting. It's not going to stop. It's not going to go away. And it is squeezing everybody on Earth, but it's direct on you in your face, Capricorn. So if there are these issues that I've been mentioning, I don't want to define exactly what they are. You would know them. But whatever it is inside of you, Capricorn, that's registering is really, really painful and sad to the point of tragic, to sense of loss, loss of love, loss of companionship, loss of home, loss of family, loss of loved ones, separating, feeling a sense of perhaps rejection, or let's say being ostracized in some way from a loved one or loved ones. Perhaps, as families and people grow and shift and change over an extended period of time, we do lose loved ones. Our children grow up. Our parents die. Our siblings move here and there. And we're left wondering, what now? What now? Let's have a look at the significant other over here. So with the Seven of Pentacles over here, my feeling you're dealing with someone or certain people, dear Capricorn, who are going through their own struggles, okay? And it's starting to come to the surface enough where their own struggles, even though it looks like they're probably doing their best to take care of their own business and mind their own business, literally like a farmer or a gardener taking care of business, and they know it's their business. There's no harm intended here, but my feeling is that they've got so much stuff that is like not working for them, that needs to happen, that needs to work, and even though these cards are very much on the surface, like they would be experiential, there would be evidence in your day-to-day life. My personal feeling is that a lot of this is happening on a very subliminal scale, and and whatever's happening on the surface is almost like a facade, okay? Because Capricorn, you've been dealing with so much for so long, for so many years with the Pluto Saturn thing. It's a lot of pressure for all Capricorns, and it might just be starting to take its toll. And as all this sweet stuff happens right now with the Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn thing, you know what can happen in people in relationships when they've been under a lot of pressure for a long time, and then they find a sweet spot, like an oasis in time, where they can relax. The body lets go, and they almost have like these breakdowns, okay, where you can actually allow yourself to cry and shed tears and shed pain and suffering because you're in a safe place, okay? So, well, the Virgo, Capricorn, all the earth, that big earth green triangle I showed you, that might be providing enough comfort and security for you to, let's say, relax your normal stoic self a bit. And in so doing, as you relax, then the stuff that has been buried uh, in terms of like grieving and senses of loss and all the things that you've had to push aside out of necessity in order to survive and grow and achieve and take care of business and be the responsible Capricorn, it's becoming right evident in your face because it's a comfortable, safe place for that to happen. Hold on. So let's have a look deep inside of you. Yeah. Okay, you see with the Nine of Wands here, it's probably deep down your soul knows everything that I just told you about, but it's not exactly the first thing you're looking for in a conversation with Tarot Illumination, yourself, or anybody else. And you're in this situation anyway. And part of it is because, well, what do you expect? It's inevitable. It's an inevitability. It's an inevitability, given the alignments the way they are right now, and the way they've been for years, and the way they're going to endure for a few more years. It's just a lot of heavy, unrelenting pressure, and you're in it. You signed up for this when you were born, years and years ago as part of a soul contract. This is a particular chapter in life. This moment, if you think of your life as a huge novel, okay, and we're at this particular chapter on a particular page, and this is what's happening here. You've got all your history of all the good stuff, and you've got an undefined future that you're not skipping, to spoilers to check to the end. We're living here in the moment now, and the reality is right now. You're in a very, very sweet spot, set place of comfort and safety that you've probably, built and created. Uh, and there's enough security now and comfort to actually sort of almost indulge yourself and realize, my gosh, I really have been under so much pressure for so long, and it has taken its toll, and it's continuing to take its toll. And I don't know how much more I can take, but I know I can handle it because I'm a Capricorn. On the other hand, I wish I didn't have to see this. I wish I didn't have to feel this. I wish my other parties over here didn't have to go through all the stuff that they're going, because it's probably as good as it might be that they're taking care of their business. Whatever is not working with them is definitely impacting you. So you're talking to yourself like, my gosh, I don't know how I do it. I really don't know how I do it. If I had known what it was like to be a real proper Capricorn in this lifetime, I might have chosen something else, like being a party sign or something like that, or I don't know, but anything but this right now. Oh well, let's keep going. What about deep inside the other? Okay, to me it looks like they're working really hard to get their act together because they feel it's about time. My feeling is that they've always been this way, they always will be. There's high levels of practicality inside them in one shape or form or another. They are very consciously aware of their world, everything that's good about it and everything that needs work about it, everything that needs to be brought into balance, where like the attitude of gratitude has to be integrated deeper and deeper further into their life, and they know it, and they know that it's worthwhile. They know what it's been like to live a life where they've really had to struggle and toil to the point where I would say they have leaned on you extremely heavily. And there have been points in life where, let's just admit it, you may have had to lean on them very heavily to get things in balance and to keep going. And so there's a constant ebb and flow. And it happens with everybody in life and love and relationship, especially a long term extended relationship. As people exchange energy. Like sometimes you, Capricorn, are having to be the one, to do the heavy lifting in the relationship, take care of them, take care of everything, manage all the, take care, just do everything. Okay. And then sometimes you need a break, or you're having a breakdown or something, and then they're having to carry the full load, and it's tough. And there's this ebb and flow. And sometimes you get to hang out together and everything's sweet. Sometimes you're really suffering and they're glowing. Sometimes you're both suffering over here and it's really tragic and it's tough to intimate even at all. Sometimes you're both glowing and everything's like wonderful, but it's a constant shift and change and swirl. And I think they're dealing with it deep down inside in very measurable, practical ways. I think they're coming at it from an almost like myopic perspective, very almost not narrow-minded, but let's just say highly focused on the physical reality. So there's a lot of pentacles here. Maybe money is a huge concern for them. Maybe it's not a concern for you, like directly, because like what is money? It's just a token. There are other ways that we value wealth. How do you define wealth in your life, dear Capricorn? What is it in your life that equates to wealth for you? What is it in your life, Capricorn, that equates to wealth in a significant other, significant others? certain, very specific. Like what are their values? What do they value? And what are the differences between your measures of wealth and their measures of wealth? And how does that uh, harmonize with you, or how does that disharmonize with you? Okay, it looks like all that those issues are coming to the surface. That's part of a natural maturation and growth in life and people anyway. We learn so much from each other. Okay, what about the relationship itself? Okay, more pentacles here. So despite the sweet stuff, again, look at this. Okay, despite the sweet stuff that's going on here and here and here, to me it's so comfortable, so nutritious that, again, I'm just kind of repeating how it puts you in a position where you're realizing that these challenges are really going to have to be addressed. And it might be something to do with very deeply buried truths, realities, in how you've conducted yourself, how you've allowed the relationships to live, how you've either catered to or pandered or allowed for significant others in a way that you wouldn't choose to do if they were not significant others. And so you have to put certain feelings and things aside until they become to the point where it's almost unbearable. Okay, you might notice that especially in the middle of the month. Can you see this over here? This particular stressful alignment here, this big T square, is most powerful on the full moon. So you might have a fuller understanding of what I'm talking about here, close to the full moon and for the rest of the month. And then what are we going to do about it? Okay, so with the Four of Pentacles here, my feeling is that it's kind of an almost against all odds situation for you, Capricorn, where you're doing everything that you can to take advantage of all the sweet stuff that's out there that's good for you and optimizing and making the most of it, because the reality, it looks like it's turning out to be very hard to keep things together, okay? To keep the foundations, to maintain the stability, the sturdiness, the wealth, the abundance in the home, in the family, taking care of business, okay? It's like you've built this, you've got this, you've asked for this, you want this, and you've got it. And it's a living, breathing thing. And it's just that sometimes, just like what happens in all relationships or business or an enterprise, there are moments that are very, very challenging. Like even like you look at like a big corporation or something. I'm not saying you're a big corporation, but you might understand it because of the business theme that you have. You know, sometimes corporations get really big and successful. They got huge cash flows and everything's great. They got employees and pension plans and all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, they might have huge legal issues. They might have huge issues with other factors that they could never have anticipated during the growth phases. You know, it isn't just a permanent party all the time running a business. You know, some businesses end up with huge liability issues, maybe to do with copyrights or something, or whatever it might be, or infringements, things that you never would have anticipated in building and growing your life, your world, your relationship, your family, all the things that you love and cherish, only to discover that there are some very serious challenges that threaten all of it. And it's very sad for you. It's sad for the whole relationship. It's sad for everybody in it, but you're dealing with it, okay? So it's like a double theme here, having to maintain and grow the stability and enjoy that and see that as a worthy project, but also there's the pain of having to maintain the stability and the structure and the foundations. So it could feel a bit restricting. Okay, what is coming out of this here? Okay, so we're kind of going in a full circle where it is all about you, Capricorn. It's not a couples reading at all. It's all about you, where, let's say, like multiple, a collection of different relationships, maybe spouses, boyfriend, girlfriend, a one-on-one relationship in a business or something, is coming to a point where, like, it's like almost like this Zen realization where, oh my gosh, it really is just me. You know, there's you, there's others, there's the rest of the world, there's all the activities that we do in life and world. But at the end of the day, who is this person who's, you know, when you fall asleep, when you go into twilight, when you go into the lucid dream states, when you're waking and when you're falling asleep, who are you with? Okay, there might be other characters, but essentially you're on your own. You is just you, Capricorn. It's just you, and you're learning a lot. It might not be a very comfortable lesson or lesson program, because it's happening in a state of, to me it looks like it's happening in a state of abundance. Like there's a lot of abundance here, okay? Measurable abundance. But there's the weight of abundance, the pressures and responsibilities of abundance, and how it puts you, let's just say like you're the president of a company or something, or you're the boss of a family, or you are really good at keeping everything together, and you are like a family leader, or a relationship. You're good at keeping everything going, working properly, but you're also realizing how much of it is a very heavy load, and you're learning through abundance, the weight of abundance, and everything that can be uncomfortable about all the wealth and abundance that you do have. I know that sounds really, really strange. It sounds very contradictory, but it's like having so much wealth in certain ways that are genuine wealth. I'm not just having the biggest car or whatever it is, or the most expensive house. I'm talking about things that are really, really valuable. Things like trust, kindness, patience, consideration, loyalty, uh, things that really count in love and relationship, endurance, commitment, over time. And it looks like you've got that, but looks like there's a heavy weight and a heavy price that has come with it. Okay. And it's something that, like, you can't dump that on anyone else. It's something that you have to face. I think everyone has to face it at some point, that we are who we are. No one else is you. You can't be anyone else. You can't outsource your life into someone or something else in order to avoid the pain of becoming the self. I think this is very much to do with the Pluto-Saturn alignment, putting a lot of unrelenting pressure on you, Capricorn, to be you and you and you and you more than ever before. It's just that it's a heavy pressure, okay? You're doing a great job. It looks to me like you're doing a great job. It's just a lot of duress. And you might not be showing this or sharing this with anybody outwardly at all. You might be putting on a presentation like a good president, a good leader would do, as though everything is just fine, even though it's actually really tough for you. Okay, so I'm going to pull another oracle over here. Not another one. I'm going to pull one, and then this will just be a little bit of an alternate perspective. Just trust the process. We'll pull something for you. I'm hoping you huddle up with yourself, invite your invisible friends to get very close to you and give you as much support as you need, even though you're probably the one who does a lot of the supporting for others, okay? It's about time that you invoked a little support for yourself, okay? Because you can't keep going on and on like this forever, okay? It's not really sustainable. It's too much weight. Here we go. I'm just going to read from the book in a moment. Hold on. Here's your card. It says, pay attention to the red flags, okay? The signs are cautioning you. Now, there is a lady over here with a huge, like, butterfly hat or a bee hat or whatever they're called. And she's trying to work with someone who's a very obscure figure over here. And there's several romance angels over here and one big one, okay? Just looking like they're pointing and saying, hey, watch out. Hey, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Be careful, be careful, be careful, okay? So let's get to this, okay? Give me a second here. All right, so this is for you, Capricorn. The romance angels sent you this card to help you notice the unhealthy or disconcerting parts of your relationship. If you are swept up in a new romance, for example, this card serves as a cautionary warning. Pay attention to your feelings and impressions with regard to your new suitor, your new relationship. Do not allow emotion to blind you to characteristics or habits that won't ultimately work for you in a relationship. Okay? Gosh, this is a serious reading, Capricorn. Phew. A red flag is a sign that something is off. Okay? I tried to show you the imagery here earlier. She is facing straight into something that might not be healthy for her, and she's not aware of it. Or she might be seeing the red flags, but she's not acknowledging them. And she's being given a very loud message here. Be careful. A red flag is a sign that something is off. It can include an indication of dishonesty, disrespect, flirtatiousness with others, substance abuse, lack of integrity. While your new love interest may treat you, or an old love interest may treat you wonderfully well in the beginning of your relationship, it's vital that you watch how he or she treats others. Okay. Someone's basic character is revealed by the way in which he or she talks and acts with restaurant staff, valet parking attendants, and other miscellaneous individuals. Miscellaneous individuals. Yeah, but you know what that's like. You're with somebody, and you're being you, and you're being your most honorable self, and they're being who they are, and you're starting to notice, like, wow, that's really not cool the way they treated so and so and so and so and so and so. Not cool. But you're ignoring it because there are circumstances that almost basically oblige you to ignore it. Otherwise, to acknowledge it might mean you'd have to deal with it, and that might be very uncomfortable. If you're in an existing relationship, these red flags may signal a need for an honest mutual discussion or maybe some couples counseling. This card doesn't necessarily guide you to leave a relationship. Red flags can be simple markers along a path of healing and evolution and growth, as happens in every relationship. The romance angels will guide you to take steps that are healthy for everyone involved. So do follow your intuition and pay attention to the red flags. Now is the time. Huge red flags here, huge red flags here. Okay? Red flags, it's a lot. Okay, we just have to acknowledge it. I know, Capricorns, you can be so heavily focused on making things work and then keeping them working. But sometimes that comes at great sacrifice. I'm going to pull another oracle here for you, all right, Capricorn? This is from Nature's Whispers, and I'm taking advantage of the Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo energy right now. It's a huge cluster of Earth energy, nature, the planet, and I'm leaning on that for you. Let's see what comes up here. Okay, here's your card. Vulnerability. Okay, can you see yourself here huddled in this leaf? Very, very tiny, very, very fragile, and a host of mystical energies around you that are inexplicable. There's some candles in a tree looking like there's a vigil, like you're in some kind of cocoon safe place here, because it's almost like, I'm not saying there's a lot of danger out there, but there's a lot of unknown factors out there to which you might be vulnerable. Okay, let's go to the book here for a moment. I'll put this aside. Give me a second. Shove all this over here. Thank you for your patience, by the way. This is a very somber reading, isn't it? You may be feeling like you should withdraw. This is an opportunity to wait and regroup. You are in need of some rest and relaxation. You might even be feeling overwhelmed. Take some much needed downtime. That would be for yourself, okay? Not with a bunch of people, but for you, okay? Go on a retreat. Take in your surroundings. Notice the season and the changes that are taking place out in nature. Things are continually evolving. Think about the clouds you see in the sky. They are constantly moving and changing and reshaping themselves. Allow yourself to connect with Mother Earth and nature in a deeper way. Align your rhythm with the heartbeat of the earth and slow your thoughts and emotions down. Trust that everything will work out. The signs that things work themselves out are all around you. Take notice. I think it's important to acknowledge the vulnerability and then take action. Okay? In other words, let's just admit it. I think you need some TLC, tender loving care for yourself right now. And that means literally in a very solitary way. You might need, like, you know how people say, I need to take a vacation from my vacation. Thank you very much. And you literally isolate yourself. Okay? That might be a very nutritious thing to do so you can reassess, reevaluate, and kind of recenter and refocus. Because you can't stay like this forever. You're a Capricorn. You have to get on with the business of life and take care of stuff. All right. So whatever it is that ails you, we need to focus on that and start the healing process. All right. Thank you very much, Capricorn. Hope you get something out of this. Take care and all the best. Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to say hello. Man, we got so consumed here. No, hold on. That was a tough reading. Let's just admit it. Okay. Tough reading for me to deliver, probably for you to hear. Okay. But somebody had to do it. Okay. You can handle it, Capricorn. You're very tough. All right. Take care. All the best. You can handle it. Check in if you need to. Check the links below and all that. Tarot Illuminations right here. Okay. Bye-bye.